Cloud. Okay. Carolyn, yep.
Okay. Hello, Carolyn. Can she hear us?
Carolyn, can you hear us? You're muted right now. I'm gonna point that at you, Linda, since you're our chair.
Didn't fix that. She say hi to you when she.
No.
Oh, no. Let's confirm that she can hear us. Maybe she went to get a call.
How do I unmute someone?
They have to do it, don't they?
No,
she is.
Hi, can you hear us, Carolyn?
The host can do it.
You're muted still. Do you want to unmute yourself?
Okay.
Okay, good. You can hear us. We can hear you. All right, I'm gonna point you at Linda so she's the chair.
Hello, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Did you
Okay.
come further in?
All right, that's good. So Carolyn, an FYI for you, Priscilla is here, Pam, me, and then Alix, Lily, and Judy.
Mhm.
So you
Excellent.
can't see the whole range of us. We're spread out too much. So let's call this meeting to order, and it's a little bit after 9. And so we have 3 items on our agenda. And I suppose we should approve the agenda. Will somebody make a motion to approve the agenda? Motion to.
So moved.
Okay, so Alix did. I'm going to take your Carolyn as a second. How about that?
Perfect.
Okay. And any discussion about the agenda? Ready to, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Good. Okay. So first item is authorize the town clerk to appoint election workers as needed. And Carolyn, you don't have this, but Lily has a pretty full roster of folks and the sequence. So it's very good to see that you have so many. So I think we're in very good shape.
And what I'm asking for is your approval of this, but also the ability to appoint
To appoint
other
new
volunteers as I
Yeah.
see fit.
So let's have this motion, please. The motion would be authorize the town clerk to appoint election workers as needed.
So
And with the-
moved.
For the
Okay.
general election.
For the general election. Okay.
Carolyn, so moved.
Carolyn, and who would like a second?
I'll second.
Pam. And all in favor? Aye. Okay. And then next, authorize the early processing of ballots for the general election on 11/5/24. So that means the date is connected to the election, not.
Not to
The
the
date
early,
for
I
the
didn't know if that was
early
confusing. You can just leave that off.
No, we'll just, yeah.
How about changing on to the general election of
Hmm.
November 5th?
Sounds good. Okay, who would like to move that?
I'll move it.
Okay, Pam and Alix second, okay. And all in favor?
No.
Aye, okay, unanimous, thank you. And then last and most interesting perhaps, create a policy for election observers. And I'm gonna let Lily outline this. This comes from, and here, turn it so Carolyn can see you.
So the Marion Cross School librarian came to me last week and asked if it would be possible for her to bring 6th graders in to observe voting on November 5th. There are about 43 6th graders. So we have no policy on who can come in. Judy has noted that Tracy Hall is closed that day, so technically we could say you're not a Norwich voter, so you can't come in, but we do allow parents to bring their kids through. So what I would like from you guys, as the Board of Civil Authority, is some sort of direction or policy on how many kids we could cycle through at a time if you think this is a good idea. And I guess I would like to try and balance the disruption of shuffling children in and out with the disruption of having any number of children sitting against a back wall.
Did she describe like what they'd like to do? Like whatever size group of children come in, what does she want them to do? Come in, just hang out for 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think she's happy to park them in a corner for 5 minutes and then bring them back out again.
So
So
what are they going to do? Observe
they're just
the-
going to observe.
someone going through the checklist and getting signed in and then getting their ballot and then going to a voting booth and then.
The general flow of
But they
voting.
could do that
Yeah.
from afar.
Well, they can do it from, I think, the back wall by the doors.
But somebody would presume they'd be guiding them, saying, okay,
Right.
this is how it works. That's what you're seeing here and here.
Would they, in fact, would they like you to do that? Or
I am
you
not
or
going to have
Judy?
time to do that.
I know,
So
yeah.
I've made it very clear to Miss Van Els that we cannot have noise. We cannot have children who are shuffling. They need to stand quietly, watch, and then leave. So there can't be an explanation while they're there.
Well, the other thing that occurs to me is, are we making a specific policy for
Minors?
Or are we
Potentially.
making a policy for any observer?
Yeah, I would like a policy for minors at this point. We could also make a policy for everybody, but
May I just say that there's probably state statute that relates to other people, like there's always been the possibility of having what they could party poll
so we
watchers.
did reach
So
out.
that's a separate thing and there's
I reached
stuff
out to
laid
the
out there.
Secretary of State's office. They said it's up to individual towns to set whatever policies they want in terms of non-poll watchers, right? Every political party can bring 2 poll watchers. They're
And they
allowed
sit
to
by
be
the
there.
checklist and listen.
Well, they have to sit within view of the checklist.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to. There's very
Yeah,
specific rules for that.
yes, for
But
that,
those don't extend to just
anybody who wants to.
off the street who wants to.
Is there any reason we can just put a set number of chairs up on the stage? And just say,
So if they're
That's
on the
what-
stage, they could see people voting their ballots, and that is a huge number.
okay,
So they
but
would,
same concept, you could put chairs against the stage, base of the stage.
no,
It's
again, we have,
that wall.
the voting.
Oh,
So
those tables.
they would need to come in the front doors of Tracy Hall. And, we have a very sort of set runway there, where to the right is my table.
Right.
And then there's sort of a long set of stanchions that lead
Yeah.
people to the tabulator. And my goal would to be, I'm not sure where I would put them, because I don't want them standing against those stanchions, because again, you're overlooking.
What about where we stand at the end of the day before we start the count, over on the right?
Be like behind the area that you've carved out for yourself as you have a
Like
table.
against the doors sort of there.
That corner, where we
Yeah.
stand while we're waiting for the voting to finish and then we start counting. If you could put them over against that wall by those windows, they could see the voter checklist across the room. They could see people getting their ballots and then going to the stanchions, and then they could walk along the back wall out the door.
They could see people bringing in their ballots.
Yeah,
That, and the problem with that is that's where I'm stationed to open up the same day that are coming in absentee. I'm over there and opening envelopes with ballots in them.
So you don't want them specifically in there. It seems to me, I would make a little adjustment to your suggestion, Pam, to say, so as I picture, when you come in Tracy Hall and to the right is where you guys are set up. And you have like a table set up as your desk, you have a table set up and you're processing additional ballots that are dropped off. Then there's a pretty big area from there kind of over
into
to
the middle of
the
the-
side doors. So maybe there's space for a group of kids to cluster there. I was also going to say that it doesn't seem like it would be too disruptive if there was and maybe the group split in 2 or something like that. So like that there could be a group of half a dozen kids like hanging out against the wall behind where the tabulators are. And so they could observe us just like, helping people get their ballots fed into the tabulator. That could be 2 okay places for them to be. Also, it does seem to me from my experience working at the exit is that like we've got 2 people, but you don't always need 2 people to be doing stuff. So one of those volunteers can like say, hey, this is what's going on here. This is what's going on there. Like, I think that could work, the combination of areas. And I would say, and you've suggested that you want to say 12 at a time? As
Yeah,
a-
we could cycle them through in 4 bunches.
So, yeah, so, okay,
Mhm.
10 to 12 was what it would turn out to
Yeah.
be. That seems doable. I would not like to tell them no.
Right.
So
It's
trying to
a
figure
civics
out.
lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that'd be good. And I have this question, given the, do you expect that the majority of ballots will be done by the mail-in ballot or like dropped off as opposed to people coming on election day and picking up a ballot?
We've got almost 1,000 voted ballots returned out of 3,000 that were mailed out.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty good, yeah.
50/50 maybe.
And we usually
Yeah.
have what, 15 or 1,600 at a general election? Really?
Like you're expecting 2,000 or something?
200 to 2,500.
Yeah, okay. Well, so half of them have come back already.
Mhm.
We still got 2 weeks.
And this would,
So I don't think on election day, it's not going to be overly crowded. Yeah.
I would defer to you because I have not been.
It
through
will be. You're gonna have those people that are gonna bring in their unvoted ballots and have to sign the affidavit.
Right, yeah.
But I do think we could put them against that wall, because your desk is up against the far wall there, and if we had them near the exit door, or the middle door there, that
I
would
think before we confirmed anything, Ben probably should have been involved in the discussion too, because it affects him and how he sets things up.
Although, we're not gonna, are we gonna set up chairs for
no,
them?
no, we'll just set up here.
So I don't think setup
This is
is
a very
required.
compressed timeframe. They're gonna be here between 8:30 and 9.
Oh.
So, and I think you're working that shift, so if you want to take it on yourself to.
No,
So-
Lily, Lily,
she-
when are they gonna be there, Lily?
8:30 to 9 AM.
That's short. Okay, so they won't be, yeah, I think they won't be disrupting us for
They
very
won't be
long.
10 minutes a group, they're 4 groups.
Yeah.
You said 5 minutes.
But that tends to be a busy time too. People on their way to work.
Right.
After school drop off.
Yeah, well,
I
I
can see if you can push it later. I know that's just when she has library with them Tuesday.
But we only have one kid going through the tag.
Yeah,
right, we don't have to do a separate
and
box.
there's no
for
separate
that.
box.
Yeah, so that's simple. I think that's fine. So say again, so we need a policy. You have written something.
We don't need, I mean,
We don't have to
I'm
have that.
happy with not having a written policy. I just
Okay.
need something to repeat to Ms. Fennels to
Yeah.
let her know when and how many children and for how long and, you know.
My concern is that, maybe because I'm a lawyer, sorry. We are setting precedent. Somebody else, some other group, who knows what?
Yeah.
Might want to come in and say, well, if they can, why can't I? Would the same rules apply to me? I don't know if we want to write this policy or have this policy specifically for Marion Cross students. And so say it's limited to that.
Yeah.
And is it students enrolled in Marion Cross? Because I'm suddenly thinking homeschoolers.
Yeah. Well, they can trundle through with their parents.
And then, well, that's true. Yeah, because we don't really have a policy about voters coming in with their kids, do we? They just
No,
come in
we
with their-
just, yeah.
Like
Just
this
like,
letter.
yeah, they're accompanied by an adult, it's fine. So with the elements, I think you're right to highlight, it's like, we should keep track of what we're deciding. And so I think I would not limit it to Marion Cross, because like, what if Hanover High wanted to, I would certainly, maybe we should just say Norwich students.
Okay.
Okay.
Dresden.
Well,
Well, don't
Norwich
you
is
have
gonna
voters
cover.
in high school?
You do.
That's another public place. They're not gonna attract high school students into Norwich if they can stay in high school.
Right, that's true. But anyway, so Norwich students, and I think 12 at a time seems
Max.
manageable. Yeah, up to 12. So this is for students who live in Norwich
The
and
purpose
12 at a
is civic-
time.
The purpose
And-
is civic education.
Yeah, and we'd want them to like just coordinate all the logistics with the town clerk. Does that cover everything? And then the specifics that I don't think the specifics that we talked about for this next election, that's not part of the policy.
No.
That's just part of our logistical decision-making each time there's a request. So, yeah. And I'm happy, and I am happy to take on the task of like when they show up, like greeting them, so you don't have to
Okay.
like deal with that.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
So Norwich students shall be allowed to observe the election with no more than 12 children at a time under the supervision of an adult.
Yeah,
For the purpose of civic education.
yeah.
There's civic education.
Yeah,
Also
okay,
civil.
yeah. Um,
I will say my son Asher, who was in 9th grade, said that in 1st grade, he was brought here to observe the election with the 1st grade teacher.
you remember?
It is indelibly marked in his head, apparently. Yeah,
I always took my daughter and she was mad that she couldn't vote too.
we have a lot of future voter stickers we can hand out. I also did go on Friday and I'm going again tomorrow to speak to the 6th graders about the whole process of voting and how you register to vote in Vermont and so they're getting a whole like background and they're with the librarian. It's been great because she's done this whole thing on like free and fair elections and how to identify impartial news sources.
Good.
So
Okay, so do
Good for
you
her.
think, we've outlined and you've taken notes of the major bullet points. Do we need to actually have votes to
Yes.
approve it? Okay, so
So,
somebody move.
can I read this
Okay,
again just to
yeah.
make sure it's okay? Norwich students shall be allowed to observe the election or an election
Yeah,
with no more than 12 children at a time under the supervision of an adult for the purpose of their civic education.
Did we say 12 students?
12 students.
I will move to authorize that. We will put the word authorize. Motion to authorize. Oops. Don't move.
authorize the, what do we, authorize the policy or
Whatever Lily said, I move to authorize
these?
what is it?
Norwich students, I have Norwich students shall be allowed. So motion to authorize that Norwich students be allowed to observe an election. Okay. With no more than 12 students at a time under the supervision of an adult for the purpose of their civic education. Okay,
Okay, so Pam move, who would like to second? Priscilla? And all in favor? Aye.
and Caroline's and I.
Okay. Okay, and that's what we got. And now are we ready to adjourn? 9:20, is there anything else that's coming
Can
up?
we set times for early processing of
Oh.
ballots while we're still in session? So it's in the record.
Oh, set times, yes, sure. Like, what do you
We
have?
can also do that later if you want.
You mean specific times, dates? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You wanted to do that on Friday and Monday,
I
correct?
do.
So it would be Friday, the 30.
The first.
Friday is.
Friday is the 1st of November.
Right.
Now, this setting the time isn't on our agenda. Is that an issue for us?
I don't think we need to do it in session. We can do it out of session too. We've already authorized the
we've
early
authorized
processing
it.
of ballots. So let's adjourn and then we can do this later.
Oh, okay, just
I
like
can
that.
amend the motion.
Sure.
Then motion to authorize the process of ballots.
I would prefer to leave it as it is, just so
Okay.
that we're not tied to specific days and times, because otherwise I'd have to reconvene you to.
Well,
Right, okay,
so it's at your discretion, I would think.
right.
There's
Let's,
some
so,
discussion about this.
Adjourn and then have a work session.
Yes.
Same. Just leave it.
Yep. Well, you've authorized me to.
well, and the scheduling is something that you would end up
Mhm.
doing by email. Okay, so let's
Let's just not do that.
adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Okay. Alex, adjourn. And who's seconding? Lily?
Sure.
And all in favor? Aye. I think 9:21. Or something close to that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then separately, Lily, you're hoping to do that just 2 days? Like,
Well, so what went out on the email listserv this morning is that you could do about 300 ballots and over the course of, what was it, 3 hours? So we're gonna have more than 1,000, so we may need 3 sessions.
And by, what you mean by processing is right now, they're all still sitting in their ballot
Certificate
envelopes.
Yep.
And so, and you have been, as you get them, you're entering them into the database. So the checklist reflects their receipt. And so you want to double check that the checklist is accurate, then you want to open them up, separate them, and then take the ballots and
Yeah.
run them through the tabulator. Okay, so it's a very simple task.
Well, I need two of you
You
here to
need
do it.
two JPs at a time to do it. So
Carolyn's raising. her hand.
Carolyn,
I'll do it. I'll do it again.
you can do it on Monday?
I think we should add Thursday and get in a third day of doing that.
Okay, so Thursday, Halloween, the 31st. I have a strong preference for morning because there are festivities starting at 3 p.m.
I can also do it on a Thursday, just can't do it on.
Okay, so Alix, you can get Thursday. Can you do 9 a.m.?
Sure.
Okay,
And I can do Monday and I just can't.
okay.
And you're obviously gonna email me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably available. I have to double check my paper calendar.
Okay, and then Carolyn, you want to do, we've got Friday.
I I was planning to do Friday and Monday.
Okay, can you do Monday at 9 a.m.?
Well, yeah, if I have to.
Alix is raring to go, so.
Have intravenous coffee
Yeah,
available.
Monday, 9 a.m.
One witness at a time, or do you have two? So.
I was planning to come in this morning until I realized I could Zoom.
I'm sure Suzanne would be able to.
Sorry, one
I
more
said I
time.
was planning to come in this morning until I realized I could Zoom.
Uh-huh.
She's just beginning to develop the schedule. So the fact that she's got one volunteer is good.
Okay, so
She'll
Carolyn's
need
Monday.
two all told for the whole time. Yeah.
Carolyn, do you want to take a Friday as well?
Sure.
Or do you want to do morning or afternoon on Friday?
Let's do morning.
Morning Friday,
Mm-hmm.
9 a.m. Okay.
Yeah.
And Linda, it's BCA members, not JPs.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So, if you would like to come and help on.
I'm in New York, I'm on the bus Friday afternoon.
Okay.
Aren't those buses great?
I'm going down to celebrate my birthday in New York.
Congratulations. Linda, when are you available?
I have to double check my calendar. but
Okay.
Probably, like, so right now,
Okay.
you've got two
Yep.
for Monday.
I've got two for Monday, so I'm set for
one
Monday.
Friday and one for Thursday.
Yep.
So I'll look for
Okay.
those two.
Pam, any inclination?
I could do Friday morning.
Okay. And then if you can do Thursday, that's great. If you
Okay.
can't do Thursday, I will
Look around some more.
look around.
Okay.
I usually have a
I think we'll be okay.
training session at 11 and I like to leave here like 10:20, so I go down there and warm up for 20 minutes before.
That's okay. If we're desperate at 1 p.m., I'll call you though.
Oh,
We need to schedule that meeting to talk about counting the checklist.
Yes, we do. I will email you and Sue.
So 9 a.m. on Friday the first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Good.
Great.
I
Yeah,
have a question about the affidavits. Are you going to need to process those? The other time that we did it, we had somebody at the end of the table for the checklist who said, "Did you bring your ballot?"
Mhm.
And they said no. We had that person sign.
So I
So,
was planning to have the checklist divided into 3, and I was going to have each checklist person paired with a ballot distributor / affidavit signing person. So you come in, give your name and address, and the checklist person will say, "Did you bring your ballot?" And if they say no, they'll put them right to the side, and the person next to them will have them sign the affidavit and hand out a ballot.
great. Yep, that'll work.
Okay.
But it's a little fillip to the process.
Yep. I got stacks of affidavits. So.
Yeah,
And only, what, 800, 900 ballots, so people better bring their ballots.
yeah.
It's okay, we can print more.
Lily, you can put me down for counting that many.
Okay, thank you.
I can't guarantee you I can get Will to come, but I will.
Okay. All right,
All right.
thank you.
Bye,
Thanks, Carolyn.
Bye-bye.
Here's a jacket here to be leftover from one of the nearly new volunteers.
Oh.
I don't know whose it is. Do you guys, does Tracy Hall maintain like